Hello, my name is Jared Frazier, and what is your name?
My name is Shanice Frazier.
Hello. Today we will be discussing, but first, do you mind if I keep looking at my notes?
That's fine with me.
Oh, okay, thank you. So today we will be focusing on, we will have what is called an externalizing conversation. Do you know what that means?
No.
Okay, so that means what I'm going to ask of you
Hmm.
is to think of a scenario or something that has happened in your life that you could really you put yourself in it,
Hmm.
but really you could have just disattached yourself and your feelings from the situation or from the problem. So I'll give you a definition so that we know what we're doing. Um so what it is I'm going to help you separate problems from themselves. Does that make sense?
Kind of.
Right. So the goal is um the goal is to help people, right, see the problem separate, right, from their identity and overcome it, right? So we take the person out, we take our just separate personality from it,
Hmm.
and then we solve the problem
Hmm.
because it was easy to solve in the first place, right? But we really put ourselves into it when really outside of the problem, we see, it really wasn't all that.
Hmm.
Does that
Okay.
make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So, is there any type of situation that you can think of that you put yourself in, but really you could have separated yourself from that situation?
Well, I've had a lot of things that like happened in my life here recently. And it's caused a lot of trauma and it's caused a lot of pain for my family. Um, the only thing I can think of right now is I had a situation at my job where um I had been given the opportunity to have a party in my honor. It was a baby shower, and somebody had come up to me and said that they didn't understand why I was having multiple baby showers, and it really like stuck with me because in my head, like it made me feel that like I wasn't worthy of having multiple baby showers and that like I wasn't valued or good enough to have my place of work like give me one of those kind of
Oh,
things. And
so
so like I really
mm,
like removed myself from a lot of situations because I'm like at first I didn't know who it was. So I was kind of like secretly thinking, was it you? Was it you? And so like I was starting to withdraw because I felt like they were attacking me and my family and during this like traumatic situation. And I just felt very isolated.
okay. So within that issue,
Hmm.
right, it felt deeper because you felt that internally of your job, it was like okay, right?
Hmm.
Because it's your job, so they'll throw you a baby shower.
Hmm.
And of course, there's other places that may want to throw you one. And then of course, from my understanding, most families have one outside of where they work at
Hmm.
for friends and family, near and far.
Hmm.
So so that person saying that why is she having so many,
Hmm.
that made you feel what?
It just made me feel like undervalued and like that like it was attacking me as a person and like I wasn't worthy to have more than one or like I shouldn't be getting as much help as we have because
I see.
it was a a traumatic situation with the birth and stuff like that. And so it's like what it made me feel that like I was doing something wrong, like something that I was doing, even though I wasn't the one putting the baby shower on.
Right.
It made me feel like I was the one who was in the wrong. And I, took it that way.
Right. So what you had said before, it was just one person, right?
Hmm.
So one person amongst 50 people that may be in your school.
Hmm.
So you allowed that identity, you put yourself into that and made it bigger, right? When
Hmm.
really that one person could or could not show to the baby shower, right? So
Hmm.
let's try to separate it, right? So if we take ourselves out of it, and the baby shower happens amongst people that really want to bring you stuff, right? We can't allow that one person to stop what others want to be able to bring you,
Yeah. It
right?
just really upset me because like in what I was thinking is that not just that one person was thinking it, but
Yeah,
everybody was
everybody
thinking it.
else. Mhm.
And like that, you know, the people that I thought I trusted and thought cared about me, I felt that they were all like judging me and that like, oh, she needs 3 baby showers. She can't take care of her own baby. And she needs all of us to like help her out and stuff like that. Like it was very hurtful. And like looking back, like it would, I guess like if I was to take myself out of it, any other person would probably have more than one baby shower. Like you said, sometimes they have it for their family and sometimes their job is to do it.
Right.
So I guess it was an attack on me.
Right. So if we take ourselves out of it and say, okay, because it happens, I can't tell you to not feel a certain way about someone saying something.
Hmm.
But sometimes if we take a step back and say, okay, this is not for me, it's for
The baby.
the baby, right?
Hmm.
So whatever gifts come our way or whatever things play out to be,
Hmm.
it's for the baby, right?
Hmm.
So I'm asking now that you see that you've taken yourself out of it. So how can we solve the problem now? Now that we've taken out our views of it within ourselves.
Um, I guess I can like just enjoy
Mhm.
whoever shows up that wants to do something
Mhm.
instead of, I mean, because nobody's forcing them to do it, just kind of whoever shows up. And I mean, maybe I could talk to the person that said that and ask them like why they feel that way and maybe explain myself a little bit better.
Okay. Would that make you feel better?
I don't know. I don't like conflict.
I see. So I guess if do you know who the person is? Did they say?
I did find out who the person was, and it was
Okay.
somebody who I wouldn't say like we're like best friends, but I wouldn't, they're also like very close to me, like
Well,
colleague wise.
yeah, I guess really in your time,
Hmm.
if it's something that you can have a conversation about and further of why they said that, but also taking yourself out of it, it was for your baby anyway.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't really
So it really
affect,
doesn't, right.
it doesn't affect
It doesn't
me.
affect you,
Hmm.
you know, in a sense of if she doesn't want to give, she doesn't have to.
Yeah.
Oftentimes it's the point of giving. No one has to do anything if you want to.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess my next question would be going forward, what do we need to do?
Um, I guess it's hard to like separate feelings and emotions from like a situation or conflict, but maybe like before I get so hurt or so angry, like I can take a step back and say, is this really about me or is it about them?
So within this, what do you feel you could take away?
Um, that sometimes I can put myself in not such situations, but I can put too much of my feeling in certain situations, and that sometimes it's a them problem and not a
Yeah,
me problem.
yeah. I see that. That makes sense to me.
Hmm.
Yeah. So I think that going forward, because I'm a parent myself,
Hmm.
so so I definitely understand, and I'm glad that you were able to now exclude yourself from the situation
Hmm.
to where the one thing we're focusing on, the one thing you're focusing on is the baby. Make sure she gets what she needs. And then whatever is after that, of course, I'm sure you could just get on your own.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I think that's what made it hard is because it made me feel like I couldn't afford things for my baby, but it's about the baby
It
and not
is.
me.
It is.
And I don't think that it might not have been that statement was thought about.
Yeah, of course. Well, I am very appreciative of you um, sharing that with me today um, as we spoke on um, externalizing conversation. So again, it was to really take yourself out of the situation and while taking yourself out, solving the problem. And I
Mhm.
think we did that. I think we solved it in a way to where we now can focus on the baby. And
Mhm.
then if we deal with that later, we can. But until then, the baby is your main focus.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for coming, Miss Shanice.
Thank you
Hope this
so
was
much.
helpful.
It was. Thank you.
Thank you.